presentation of the NCAA Volleyball Championships are brought to you by the Home Depot. You can do it, we can help. And by Pontiac, the official performance machines of the NCAA. Back here at Rec Hall in University Park for our second national semifinal. The winner will advance to take on UCLA Saturday night for the national championship. Penn State on its home floor, but they are the visitors. Let's meet the starters for the Nittany Lions.
Matt Proper, opposite, Geismar, Pennsylvania.
Kevin Wenzel, outside hitter, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Alexei Alexandrovich Guter, outside hitter, Kiev, Ukraine.
Nate Mearstein, middle blocker, Upper St. Clair, Pennsylvania.
Max Holt, Cincinnati, Ohio, middle blocker.
I'm Dan O'Dell, I'm a setter, and I'm from Rochester, New York.
Brian Walthall, libero, Irvine, California.
Head coach Mark Pavlik played at Penn State and now in his 12th season as the head coach, 1-9 in national semifinals after winning 11 EIVA tournament titles to advance this far in the tournament year in and year out. Let's meet the starters now for the top seed, number 1, UC Irvine.
Hi, I'm Matt Weber. I'm the opposite from Brentwood, Northern California.
My name's Paul Spittle. I'm an outside hitter from Redondo Beach, California.
My name is Jason Jablonski. I'm an outside hitter and from Yorba Linda, California.
Hey, David Smith, middle blocker from South California.
My name is Aaron Harrell, middle blocker from Fresno, California.
Brian Thornton, setter, San Clemente, California.
My name is Brian Asuka. I'm a libero and I'm from Hawaii.
Head coach John Speraw in his 4th season, looking for the first title for the Anteaters in their first appearance here at the NCAA Tournament National Semifinals. A former player at UCLA could go up against his alma mater in the final. This is their first ever appearance here against a Penn State team that is in the NCAA semis for the 21st time. Only UCLA has had more success in getting this far, but they have lost 10 NCAA tournament matches in a row, dating back to the 1995 season when they lost to UCLA in the final. Their one championship was in '94.
This is the moment that the Penn State Nittany Lions have been looking forward to for years. They've been looking towards this year. It's a senior-laden veteran squad playing at home. They think this is their year to break the losing streak.
And quite frankly, it is not the regular season that they expected, with 8 losses on the year and all the senior leadership. Well, they can make all that disappear with success here in the semis and the national championship. And UC Irvine gets the first point, and Jason Jablonski, the junior from Yorba Linda, a national player of the year, will serve it up. Guter passes to O'Dell, looking for Matt Proper. Asuka, one of the top defenders in the country. And that one just long off of O'Dell.
And UCI running one of my favorite offensive plays called the BIC. It's the back row quick. They use it with Jason Jablonski and run it better than anybody else in the country.
Jablonski serving. And the service error gives the point to Penn State.
UCI comes in as the favorite team, but don't forget they are the only team out of the 4 that made it to the national semis to be coming off of a loss. They lost to Long Beach State in the MPSF tournament. They've played just 1 match, 3 games in the last 12 days.
3 automatic bids and then 1 at-large invite. That going to the Anteaters to make up the 4 teams in the national semis. Thornton to Weber. O'Dell keeps it alive, but the net violation called on Penn State. They're down early here, 3-1.
And I think a quick start is absolutely crucial for UCI. Although they're the favored team, they're also the team with the least amount of experience. So a quick start, I think, is so important for their confidence.
23-1 this year when they win game 1. Penn State, on the other hand, has not shown the will to come back from a game 1 deficit all season long. Max Holt, terrific looking freshman out of Cincinnati in the middle, replacing the injured Kyle Masterson this year.
In the biggest match of his career. How does he handle the pressure?
Block is big for Penn State. Well, there's one of the reasons for his success, getting to play alongside Nate Mearstein, who has been his mentor this year.
A lot like Keith Kowal was to Nate Mearstein is to Max Holt.
A high toss. Serves to Asuka. Oh, quick set in the middle. This time David Smith puts it away, the middle blocker from Saugus, California.
And when you compare the two teams, UCI is a smaller, quicker team. Their middles, David Smith at 6'7", Aaron Harrell at just 6'5", which is small these days for men's college volleyball, going up 6'9", 6'9", out of the middle for Penn State.
Service error from Weber, and now Matt Proper, the senior from Guys Mills, Pennsylvania. Second team All-America this season. Booming serve. Thornton does a nice job just to keep it alive, and now Wenzel has it blocked. Walthall. Gooter out of the back row. Did not get the point.
Boy, but he got the style points. A ton of thunder out of Alex Gooter, who's from the Ukraine, and I think Gooter is the X factor in this match. He's an explosive player, been playing volleyball all of his life, but he hasn't played big in the big matches when he's needed to.
Odell to Mearstein. Powers that one down.
And there you're seeing the physical size and strength of Penn State against the quickness and smaller players of UCI. Mearstein just right over the top. UCI is going to want to try and get two blockers up in the middle whenever they can.
Yeah, both coaches address the size issue. Penn State big, UCI not so much. They'll have to get creative with their play. Proper uses that block for the point, feeding off the energy of this home crowd early on.
And Penn State has come to play 11-1 here in the friendly confines of Rec Hall, and you can see it in the confidence and the energy early in game one.
They take their first lead of the night here in game one. Kevin Wenzel serving. Weber out of the back row uses the bunch block. All three guys together for Penn State, but it goes out. Point UCI. David Smith will serve things up. He hit .769 in that regular season win over Penn State back in March, which was a 3-0 sweep. And Penn State looking for a little facial there on Jablonski.
And we are seeing tremendous offense on both sides of the net right now. It starts with good ball control, both teams passing well, so they're running flawless offenses.
Nate Mearstein gets the ace.
Gotta love the tape when you're playing at home. If you're not familiar with the new rules in volleyball, that let serve is in play. Can touch the net and is good to go as long as it rolls over and you get the dribble on the other side.
Penn State with the 2-point lead. Thornton. Jablonski showing us his Player of the Year skills, gets the kill. And Brian Thornton, the junior out of San Clemente, the nation's assist leader this year at about 13 a game. Gooter able to beat the block. Point Penn State. Dan Odell, the senior out of Rochester McQuaid High School. Wow. Well, they're using the tape effectively early on. Walthall, the libero in that white jersey. Wenzel out of the back, rejected. Jablonski and Aaron Harrell, the sophomore out of Fresno.
Aaron Harrell showing that it's not all about size, but instead about good timing and good technique. He closes, and look at him turn his right hand in so that he's not drifting to the outside, getting the big block.
Odell back to Gooter. Couldn't put it down. Quick one in the middle of Holt. Point Penn State.
Max Holt just with nerves of steel right now. Ice running through the veins. Imagine the nerves coming in, knowing the history that Penn State has, and a true freshman starting in the middle, coming off of a pretty poor match, had 8 service errors against St. Francis, and so far playing like a veteran.
Jablonski long. Point Penn State. Timeout UCI, and the Nittany Lions are all fired up in game one. When we come back, a story about hearing impaired David Smith, who will give us a whole new way to look at the game.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are Super Bowl champions.
Touchdown, Pittsburgh!
Relive all the excitement of their incredible season with Sports Illustrated and this must-have NFL Films DVD, The Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl 40 Champions. Plus, this Sports Illustrated commemorative book takes you inside their season and storied history with SI's best writing and photography. Both are free with your paid subscription to SI. Get 56 issues for only $1.59 an issue. Save 60% off the cover price. Use your credit card and get this collectible football honoring the champion Steelers. This exclusive keepsake features the scores from their entire season and includes a display stand and certificate of authenticity. Celebrate the Steelers' unforgettable season with this fantastic Super Bowl package. Go to SIPittsburghoffer.com or call now to get the Super Bowl DVD, the book, and the football, all free from SI.
Call 1-800-351-2300 now or go online to SIPittsburghoffer.com.
11-8 Penn State leading UC Irvine here in game one of our national semifinal. The winner advances to take on UCLA for the championship on Saturday night. And David Smith, the junior out of Saugus, California, is legally deaf, and he wears hearing aids in both ears. And a remarkable story about how he and his teammates have to work together out there to communicate with one another during the course of a match to make things work smoothly.
Yeah, volleyball is a sport of communication, but even more so with David Smith. Coach Speraw told me that it's critical that he sits right in front of him during timeouts because David will actually read Speraw's lips. He also looks to the bench quite often. When Speraw needs his attention on the court, he actually calls to a teammate. The teammate then gets David's attention. And David said to me, you know, being deaf, I need to be better than the other players, but that's okay because the point of playing volleyball is to be the best. A student athlete with an incredible attitude, and it's just amazing to see the level that he's excelled out there. And my favorite part is they have the David Smith rule, because in volleyball, communication is key. That second ball goes to whoever calls it. Well, if David is near it, it's David's ball because he can't hear his teammates calling him off.
He checks back into the game, and Weber jumps on the overpass. David does have one kill here in game one and has fit in very nicely with this UC Irvine team. It's essentially the same team that a year ago finished 9-20. And this season, the biggest turnaround in men's NCAA volleyball history to a 27-5 record.
And I asked John Speraw, what's the difference been since you have virtually the same lineup? And he says experience and confidence. These players now know how to compete at this level. The one addition, however, has been their libero, Brent Asuga. He's provided a lot more ball control, which has made them a better offensive team.
Freshman libero is the national newcomer of the year. And there's Smith in the middle. David gets the kill with the assist from Thornton.
Great movement coming off the net, putting himself in perfect position to hit that quick attack. Goes right over the block of Nate Mearstein.
Weber's jump serve off the tape. Odell sets Mearstein. There's Asuka getting a piece of it. Spittle undersized on the outside, and no match there for the big Penn State block. Men's Volleyball National Championships from Rec Hall at University Park. UCLA a winner in our first national semi. Penn State and UC Irvine will move on, one of them to face the Bruins in the championship on Saturday night. The Nittany Lions on their home floor, but in their away jerseys as the lower seed. And they've got the lead here in game one, trying to end a decade of frustration. Losing their last 10 national semifinals, and that's 10 years in a row, folks. They've been good enough to get here, but have not won a match since 1995 when they lost in the final to UCLA. And John Speraw, the Anteaters head coach, was a member of that team for the Bruins.
And in 10 years of calling men's national championship matches, I've never seen Penn State play with the type of confidence and emotion I'm seeing right now in game one of the Nittany Lions. This is a different team than we've seen for the last decade.
Grover way upstairs to knock it down. Mark Pavlik in conference play, 92-2 over the last 7 years. They have been totally dominant, but have not been able to work that into a win in the semis. And this is a senior-laden group. They've been waiting for this opportunity. Really, Heather, ever since they knew they were going to be hosting, they've been looking forward to this opportunity.
In fact, Pav told me a year ago when he was in the national semis, he said, we're actually a year early. I didn't expect this group to be in this position until this year when they planned it just right to be playing at home. You notice Pav way back in the corner of the court. Used to sit on the bench. This year he's changed things up. Actually paces the sideline the entire match.
Free ball here for UCI. Jablonski off the block wide. Odell and Mearstein were there but could not redirect it. The Anteaters, meanwhile, making their first ever appearance in the national semifinals in what has been a record-setting season for them.
They're also playing with the confidence of having beat Penn State easily 2 months ago here in Rec Hall. So they've played in this gym. They've beaten the Nittany Lions, so they've got all the confidence in the world heading into this.
Yeah, they actually scheduled a trip here in the fall, knowing that they would possibly be playing right back here in this gym for the championship. Cooter tries to go down the line off the antenna, point for the Anteaters. Midway through game one, we're all tied at 15. Timeout in Rec Hall. Penn State and UC Irvine knotted up. UC Irvine by 1 on a 5-1 run right now against Penn State in our second national semi. And let's revisit what happened earlier with UCLA, an impressive sweep over IPFW.
Hard to believe the number 7 seed of the MPSF tournament came in and made it look easy, staying undefeated in national semis, 25-0 now in the history of the national championships. Defense was key, held IPFW to just 187 hitting as a team, and UCLA did it behind tremendous balance. Steve Klosterman with 14 kills, Damian Scott with 10, Dennis Gonzalez, the setter, getting everybody involved, and UCLA advances easily in 3.
And our championship match will be Saturday night at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific here on ESPN2. The Bruins await the winner of our match here with Penn State and UC Irvine. UCLA will be looking for a 19th national championship. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Service error from Smith. Ties it up. Nate Mearstein. He came right out and said, I mean, it's been common knowledge around Happy Valley. We just have not performed in the semis. We've got to relax and play our best. They started out that way here in game one.
And one of the big issues historically for Penn State has been its serving game. It's just they've shot themselves in the foot in years past with their serve. I think it helps them so much to be playing here at home. They're comfortable in this environment. They know how to serve. The backdrop's not different. It's a much, I think it's a huge advantage, especially when it comes to serving.
Jablonski blocks the dump attempt by Odell. Point for UC Irvine on the serve here of Brian Thornton. Wolfall, Odell in the middle, Holt.
And how about the start for the freshman? A perfect 2 for 2 so far. The reason he keeps the ball in front of him, gets so far off the net in transition to put himself in a position to get the kill.
Quick one in the middle. Good defense by Wenzel. Gooter in transition. Asuka tries to track it down and does so. Walthall. Odell back set. Crawford pounds it down.
It all starts with Asuka. That's why he's the newcomer of the year, keeping the ball alive for the Anteaters. But how about transition for Penn State? Over the triple block.
Big finish from Proper. 18 apiece here in game one. Games to 30, must win by 2. Chance now for the Nittany Lions. Odell. Holt. the solo blocking down.
Boy, and give credit to Dan Odell, the senior setter who's struggling with a knee injury, is setting a perfect offense right now. A nice quick attack, very diversified, making it tough for UCI to defend.
Timeout, Anteaters, as Penn State is back on top by 1. The 4th time the championships have been held here at Rec Hall. Penn State unable to win in the 3 previous times they were at home. Reminder that Saturday afternoon, ESPN2 hits the diamond for some college softball action as 2 of the best in the SEC meet up. And the LSU Lady Tigers take on the Lady Vols of Tennessee. College softball on ESPN2, Saturday at noon Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Coming up in May, we'll have softball regional action, super regional action, and of course the Women's College World Series the first week in June in Oklahoma City. And just like the UCLA men's volleyball team, the Bruins softball team doing very well, ranked #1 in the country right now. Bruins without a national championship so far this year. They've got 97 all time.
That's a surprise.
They may pick up a couple in the next month.
Yeah, that UCLA softball team always near the top, if not at the top.
They too lost in the finals last year, like the Bruin volleyball men and UCLA's men's volleyball team into the championship, awaiting the winner here. Here are the new records established by Irvine this season. Wins, league wins, the longest win streak ever, and for the first time in school history, top seeded and ranked #1 for 6 weeks during the regular season. Nittany Lions in blue. Thornton, another quick one in the middle to Aaron Harrell.
And that's really the matchup, the speed and athleticism of UCI versus the power and size of Penn State. That time, the speed won out.
Jablonski behind the service line. Odell looking for Proper. Overpass. Odell popped up by Guter. Looking to go deep and finds the corner.
Already 2 differences that we're seeing in Penn State that we haven't seen in years past in the national semis. 1, they're serving better. 2, Alex Guter has come to play. This is a man that has struggled in the big matches, but tonight he's playing very smart volleyball. Energy, but controlled energy and passion.
4 kills for Guter, the junior from the Ukraine.
That'll get it done.
Big booming serve. Out of the back row, Jablonski.
Guter out of the Ukraine, moved from there when he was 2 years old to Russia following the nuclear plant meltdown at Chernobyl, then moved around Europe, came to Texas when he was in high school. Huge Dallas Mavericks fan, from Texas to Penn State because his mom was actually the fencing coach here at State College.
Long on the serve point, Penn State. Yeah, Guter, the KGB did something good for Guter and his family, actually tipped off by a KGB agent. As you recall, 20 years ago, they just had the anniversary, and they weren't telling anybody how bad and how significant the accident was at Chernobyl, and an agent tipped off Guter's dad and said, hey, get everybody out. And the family hit the road. An amazing story. Here's Guter, back row. Off the block.
And if you're wondering where the volleyball comes from Alex Guter, his dad, Sasha, actually played in the Soviet Union ladder system. He was a setter back in the early 80s, now a volleyball coach at Mount Olive in North Carolina, currently back in the Ukraine coaching internationally for a brief stint.
Penn State by a couple. Jablonski goes down to get it. Weber with the hammer. Point UCI. Weber now with 5 kills, coming off a subpar performance in the conference semifinal loss against Long Beach. He's back to serve. Odell looking for Wenzel, took something off. Thornton, Weber out of the back, ricochets off the Mearstein block.
Weber really taking advantage. The block was out of position for Penn State. You talked about Matt Weber having a subpar performance against Long Beach State. It was interesting to watch how his teammates helped him in practice yesterday. With every mistake, they went over and really did everything they could to keep him up, keep him positive, because they know he's crucial in tonight's match.
Another good serve. Odell looking for Mearstein off the block wide. Point Penn State. Mearstein, the senior out of Pittsburgh, fifth-year senior. Didn't start playing volleyball till his sophomore year in high school. Seriously picked up the game. Mearstein pushes it across. Smith returns the favor. Joust at the net, falls on the Irvine side. Elbowed up by Thornton. Odell, Mearstein, finish.
Great concentration by Penn State to continue playing. They didn't agree with the no whistle call by the officials, but instead kept their head in it. And Dan Odell is setting a great match so far.
Odell, the senior out of Rochester, playing with loose cartilage in his knee that he hurt back in early March against UC Irvine. Missed a month of action.
They found that floating piece of cartilage, and the doctor said he had a loose body in his knee, to which Nate Mearstein said, well, let's give it a name. Let's call him Eddie. So all season they've been talking about Eddie and whether or not Eddie's out and about and hurting his knee. Dan Odell will actually have reconstructive surgery on his left knee in May. They might possibly go into that right knee again, see if they can't find Eddie and take him out.
He's second all-time in career assists. They could have used Eddie there, a third blocker, as UCI got it around for the point.
Yeah, the coaching staff joked with me yesterday that Eddie got the same genes as Dan Odell. Neither one of them can jump too high.
Jablonski soaring in. Odell, Mearstein, Weber. Back row, Spittle off the block. Walthall with the hustle. Gooder out of the back, point, Nittany Lions.
This is what national championship volleyball is all about. These two teams have come to put on a volleyball clinic. Great back row attack, defense creating transition opportunities, and Penn State coming away with the point.
Gooder, fantastic here in game one for the Nittany Lions, now with 7 kills. Got a look at Mearstein and Odell up front. They're calling out plays. Ace for Wenzel.
Great topspin. Watch this ball just drop out underneath them.
And Irvine can't stop it here. No timeouts left.
Penn State came in saying the strategy was to just go for it with the serve. They're comfortable serving Brenda Suka. Normally, teams will stay away from the libero, but Penn State thinks they can serve anybody on the floor.
David Smith gets the kill in the middle. And he'll head back to serve now for the tie. Game to 30, must win by 2. Smith has the lone ace right now for the Anteaters tonight. Odell, Mearstein in the middle. 4 now for Nate Mearstein, who has been among the top 5 hitters in the country the last 3 years. He comes in hitting .480 on the season.
And this is an interesting substitution. Gooder comes out even though he's hot, but I think Matt Anderson is in as a blocking specialist. I think they'll come in for this point and then go back out for Gooder.
Thornton with the set. Anderson was out there.
Sure enough.
Weber able to use it.
Now Gooder coming back in. Gooder will provide the offense. Anderson's supposed to provide the defense. I like the move by Coach Pavlik late in the game, using substitutions that you have left in certain situations to score points in a hurry.
Been doing some coaching right there with the freshman. Max Holt, the other freshman, with a big swing. Penn State 2 points away from game 1.
And I think the difference in this game 1 for Penn State is players like Max Holt and Alex Gooder, really the X factors that Coach Pavlik didn't know what he was going to get. Well, he's getting great performances from them so far.
Odell, Masuka. Thornton now looking for Jablonski in the big swing. 6 kills now for Jason. Odell looking for Guter. Tips it over the block. Game point.
Smart. Normally Guter would go for the power. That time sees the 3-person block. Goes for the smart shot.
Thornton back set. Weber keeps the Anteaters alive. Another game point for the Nittany Lions. Odell back to Proper. Spittle got a piece of it. Contact under the net. No whistle, and now there is. And the call's going to be Proper into the net.
Right now, Marvin Hall, the down official, trying to take control of this match. Proper into the net. He thought Spittle was in the net, and Proper in the middle of the play, yelling at the officials and pointing to Spittle.
Penn State will call a timeout. Game tied. We will go extra here. You have to win by 2.
You can never count UCI out, even though they're the least experienced team here. They have always done a great job this season coming from behind. Now there's the call. It's Proper against Spittle. It's tough to say because it looks like the ball carried the net into Spittle, but the net called on Proper.
Tied at 29 here in game 1 this season. They've struggled when they lose game 1.
Game 1 vital in the game of volleyball just because it's such a momentum game. 90% of the time in national semis, when the team has won game 1, they've gone on to advance to the national finals. That tells you just how critical this game that's now become a game to 2 will be in this match.
And that was the case in the first semifinal. UCLA winning game 1 and then going on to sweep IPFW.
And it's been just an offensive display so far. Both teams on fire. UCI hitting 457. Penn State right behind it, 378. Both of those numbers just blazing hot.
Weber's got 8 kills to lead. Irvine Guter with 7 to pave the way for Penn State. No timeouts left for either side.
Guter asking for a pass from his team. 3-person serve receive for the Nittany Lions. He got it.
Odell, back set, Proper, blocked. Point Penn State.
Man, off the bench thinking that that ball was in, but right in front of us, I think it was a good call. That ball looked wide.
Third game point here for Penn State. The freshman Holt. Service, error to tie it back up. Again, it's a game to 2. Weber serving. Odell looking for Proper. Overpass, Mearstein got it. 4th game point for Penn State.
And Penn State with the top server on the squad, Matt Proper at the end line.
Thornton, back row, Jablonski blocked, and Odell jumps on it for the game. Penn State rejects the Player of the Year and then finishes. And it's 1-0 Nittany Lions in the national semis. The Game 1 winner wins 90% of the time to move on to the national championship. And Penn State out early. The finish, Jablonski rejected, and Odell puts it back down. Penn State and UC Irvine, the Nittany Lions playing at home, looking to end a decade of frustration in the national semis. The Anteaters have never been this far, looking to advance to a first ever appearance in the national championship. And the Nittany Lions jump on top early as they take Game 1, 32-30. And just an offensive explosion on both sides of the net as we take a look at the Coke Zero game track.
Yeah, both teams hitting over 400 as a team. Matt Weber for UCI with 8 kills. Alex Scooter, the X factor in my mind, came out huge for Penn State. The key, can he sustain that level of play? And as good as these two teams were offensively, I think the key in Game 1 for Penn State, already more digs in that first game than they had in the entire match when they lost to UCI back on March 2nd. So the defense drastically improved, and that's really ignited their offense. Defense transitioning into offense for points.
And the Nittany Lions grab the lead. Best 3 of 5 for a spot in the national championship match against UCLA on Saturday night here on ESPN2.
John Spur already playing a chess match with Mark Pavlik. He flip-flapped his rotations to get different matchups against the Nittany Lions.
Asuka, Jablonski, Thornton, Spittle, Smith, and Weber in white for Irvine here to start out in Game 2 with Weber serving. Back across by Penn State. Thornton at the net, setting up Smith, dug by Proper. Back to Smith, and it trickles wide.
You know, Beth, we talk about the great planning by Coach Sprout to have them come out in the fall and play against Penn State to get used to this arena, used to the floor, used to everything. Well, it also helps a ton that there happened to be 5,000 people packed into Rec Hall during that exhibition match because it was right after a pep rally for a football game. So UCI not at all intimidated by this environment.
Very similar to the crowd here tonight in size.
On the flip side, UCI has played in only one TV match this year at Hawaii. John Sproul said it would have helped if they'd advanced to the MPSF finals just to be on TV a little bit more, so the cameras and all the excitement surrounding it doesn't affect that.
They lost to Long Beach in the MPSF semis. That snapped a 21-match win streak. That dated back to late January as Weber gets another kill.
Yeah, this is a good sign for UCI fans. Matt Weber coming off of the worst performance of his career in that loss to Long Beach State. Already 9 kills, hitting a blistering 500 for the Anteaters.
Uter, Propel, Holt, Wenzel, Walthall, and Odell will start out here in Game 2 for Penn State, and a service error from Weber gives Penn State the point.
Penn State's philosophy, they want to set the middle blockers a lot, especially when UCI's setter Thornton is in the back row. Look for that here in Game 2.
Thornton to Smith. Put that one through the floor. Point UCI. David now with 6 kills. Spittle back to serve. Actually struck up a friendship with some of the Penn State players when they were here visiting. Odell, Mearstein, and Proper are roommates, and Spittle was hanging out in their crib when he was here.
Actually left an indelible mark, signed their kitchen table. On that table, not only is there a paw and a George Foreman grill, but also an autograph from Spittle that says, "Ragin' from SoCal."
They're raging right now with the 5-1 lead. NCAA Championships Men Volleyball National Semifinal number 2. UCLA is already in the final. Penn State taking on top-seeded UC Irvine. Mullins along with Heather Cox in a packed Rec Hall. Penn State playing on their home floor, but That doesn't matter much to the Anteaters from Irvine, California. 24,000 in the student body. The university founded back in 1962. And getting into the final would mean that schools that are only 54 miles apart in Southern California would travel over 2,000 miles to play each other in the championship. Penn State would like to prevent that from happening. They took game one, 32-30. For one of the seniors, a senior-laden group for Penn State. This is their chance to break through their one national championship back in 1994. And looking to get another one here 12 years later.
And ironically, a member of that team that actually lost to Penn State was UCLA's John Speraw. Says it was the single worst day of his athletic life. He says he's never watched the tape. Had a bad back in that match and doesn't ever want to relive it.
And he came back the next year with UCLA, and they beat Penn State in the '95 championship match. And that actually started Penn State on its 10-game losing skid in the NCAA tournament. Mearstein got it down after Weber went into the bench and may have hurt his knee, trying to shake it off a little bit. He went up over a chair, a little off balance, to keep that ball alive. Max Holt. A lot of tape jobs on the service so far. Jablonski. He was an All-American last year, but he has elevated his game this year, and a big reason why the Anteaters have elevated their game.
And hard to believe that Jablonski wasn't even recruited. He hadn't been signed. He was briefly recruited by BYU, and then the coaching staff at UCI saw him take one swing, and they said, how could this guy not be signed? And immediately grabbed him.
Peter bumps it over to Proper, cross-court for the kill.
Jablonski actually growing up in the Southern California area, Long Beach State was kind of his go-to school. They didn't even look at him, saying he would never be a good passer and was too small. Jablonski proving them wrong, becoming National Player of the Year, and UCI and Long Beach have developed quite a rivalry since then.
You can just imagine that moment. A lot of coaches in a lot of different sports have them trying to look around the gym to see if any other coaches are watching. They don't want anybody to find out about Jablonski, and they got him. Point for Penn State now, back within one. Proper. Been playing volleyball since he was 4 years old. Spent a lot of time with his dad on the court. There he is getting down to dig it up. Thornton, big swing in the middle for Harrell. Jablonski back behind the service line. Trying to keep the crowd quiet. They were intense in game one, and you could sense the Nittany Lions feeding off of it. Thornton looking for Spittle. Back set, Proper out of the back. Off the block for the point.
Boy, Proper doing it all, getting the dig in transition. Watch the great ball control. Proper almost looks surprised and then finishes off with the great back row attack going down the line, really taking advantage of that smaller UCI block.
8 kills now for Proper to go along with 5 digs. Wenzel serving. Thornton back set. Weber down line. Walthall was there. Odell looks to Gooter. Off the antenna before it got to the block. Point UCI.
Gooter slowing down, such a hot start. The big question was, could he maintain that level of play? He's dropped just a little bit here in game 2. Penn State behind.
Led the way in game 1 with those 7 kills. Does not have one yet here in the second. On the air, point to Penn State. Now Mearstein will serve. Another service error.
Boy, in that one, Mearstein even took heat off just to keep the ball in play. If you're going to jump serve, you got to go for it if you're going to make the error. If you're just going to lollipop it, you got to get that ball in.
We'll take a break after that one and come out. Weber, that's 3 in a row. Boy, it's contagious.
After such an explosive start by both teams in game one, both have become a little bit more human here in game two.
Yeah, both hit over 400 in the opener. Weber and Proper, the kills leaders. Overpass, Holt pushed it wide.
And that's the first time in this entire match that we've seen Max Holt with a little bit of a freshman mistake.
Yep. Tried to finesse that one a little bit. 2-point lead for Irvine. Spittle on the serve. Odell. Proper. Odell seems pretty confident to go to Matt when they need a kill.
A huge role for the setter is to be a lot like a quarterback and really decide who's got the hot arm and balance it out back and forth. And I think Dan Odell is setting a flawless game so far and really finding the openings and the gaps in the UCI block and going to his hot hitters.
Been alongside each other for 4 years in a Penn State uniform.
It's a tough ball right here.
Chance for Penn State. Odell surveys, finds Wenzel. Wenzel with solo with the setter, Thornton. First kill for Kevin. Young man that had to earn his way into the starting lineup. Admitted, self-admitted, hey, I don't have the skills that some of the other guys have, so I've got to make up for it with my energy and my effort. And Wenzel has provided that this year for Penn State. UCI up by 1. Smith will serve.
Penn State, 2 aces, 8
One thing Penn State's doing in this match that they didn't do the first time they played UCI, they're doing what they call bunch blocking. You see all 3 blockers right here in the middle of the court instead of typically being spread out from pin to pin. The reason they want to stop the middle attack first and then go to the outside.
No service error. UCI by 1. Thornton. Odell looking for Wenzel. Got some help from the net on that one to take a little bit off it and skid over the top of the block.
Here's the bunch block again. See all 3 so tight in the middle, almost stacked on top of each other. That's almost illegal how close they are. You see all 3 grouped in right there. They'll stop the middle and then break to the outside. There's the middle stop. Then if the ball goes high to the outside, they break to the pin.
Working right there for Penn State. Back on top by 1.
Dennis Hohenschelt, the assistant for Penn State, came up with this new scouting report, decided to bunch block instead of read and commit. He said it didn't work last time. The middle blockers are quick and small, so we need to start in the middle and then go to the outside.
Another big dig from Proper, and then Mearstein hits it. Missed opportunity there for the Nittany Lions. Irvine ties it up, and now Jablonski.
Here's a look at Dennis Hohenschelt in his 10th year, but could be his last. One of the top prospects and candidates for Russ Rose's women's volleyball team. The top assistant position left open by the departure of Mike Shaw. Dennis might be leaving the men to go coach with Russ Rose and the women.
And we saw that at UCLA too in our first national semi. Mike Sealy leaving UCLA to go to Hawaii to be Dave Shoji's assistant. Interesting to see the crossovers from the men's and women's side. And Irvine will call a timeout on the Penn State ace. And the Nittany Lions are up 2 here in game 2. They're already up 1-0 in the match. The guy from Guys Mills, PA. A closer look at Matt Proper after this. Penn State winners in game 1. They've got the lead in game 2 behind the play of their senior Matt Proper. Let's get to know the senior for the Nittany Lions.
Hi, I'm Matt Proper. I'm a senior opposite, and my friend Vulture calls me Boatman. Because I like to go sailing a lot. ... I'm an information sciences and technology major, and in the future I want to become a graphic design artist or a web developer. My favorite television show is Entourage, and the person I'd most like to meet is George Costanza from Seinfeld because he'd give me great insights to life.
It's just about nothing, Matt.
Taking advice from George. Well, Proper leading the way here for Penn State. And they've got the momentum right now. The two-time All-American, former EIVA Player of the Year.
And also an avid surfer. Owns his own board, goes out to visit his brother in Hawaii as often as he can, about 3 times a year to get a little surfing in. It's a good schedule.
5-1 run right here. 6-1. The size of Penn State and Nate Mearstein in the middle. And wow, the Anteaters have to burn another TO. The newcomers to the national semi is a bit out of sorts right now in game 2.
UCI, after the hot start, making a lot more mistakes. Aaron Harrell out of the middle needs to become much more efficient offensively. Also a couple service errors. The key right now for Mark Pavlik, and this is going to be the world's longest night from this point on, is to just stay consistent, stay focused, not look ahead to what could happen should they pull off the win. I mean, I think it's so hard for this team right now to not think of the couldas and the wouldas and the what ifs.
And the added pressure of having to play at home, or is it? Here's what some of the Nittany Lions had to say about the friendly confines of Rec Hall.
When I think of playing at Rec Hall, I think of the fans.
The loyal fans.
Когда я думаю про Рек-Холл, я думаю про всех своих фанатов с Украины, с России, которые приходят и кричат за меня каждую игру.
I think of all the great fans that we have that cheer us on every night.
I think of all the crazy Russian, Ukrainian fans that come in and cheer for me.
Think of the tradition.
The passion.
I think of how great it would be to win a national championship on our home floor in front of our home fans.
We need some of Proper's information sciences there to translate Gooter's Ukrainian. I think we get the gist of it, though. They like NCAA volleyball championships held here.
So far, Penn State really taking advantage of this home court advantage, feeding off of this very volleyball-savvy crowd. Penn State and the women's program led by Russ Rose have been national contenders for years. Same with the men's program. So this entire Happy Valley State College community loves good volleyball.
Most recently here, the ace from Wessel. Most recently here in 2002, when he lost to Hawaii in semis, Hawaii then went on to beat Pepperdine. Hawaii had to vacate the title. Also held here in '86. Wessel in the first of the night. All falling out. Point UCI.
Getting a little six-pack on the chest.
Weber now into double digits. She's got 10 kills on the match. Aaron Harrell. Odell looking for Proper.
The block. Here, John Spry, you're up off the bench, and he is. He's shaking his head in frustration. How can you leave Penn State's top offensive threat with nobody up blocking him? Look at this. Spittle gets faked out by the setter. Matt Proper left with an empty net, and that means instant.
And that's 10 kills now for Proper. Another tough serve. Spittle long.
And right now, John Spry looking at the bench. Spittle not having the night he'd hoped for. So instead goes to the bench, brings in Steph Rangel to try and stop the bleeding.
Rangel comes on. Down 6.
Substitutions in men's volleyball a little bit different than in women's volleyball. You just get 6 total subs, so coaches have to be very careful with when they use the bench.
One looking for Weber. Another big swing for Matt Weber, the junior out of Brentwood, California.
And like Jablonski, Matt Weber was not recruited at all. As of the end of his senior year in high school, his plans to head to Coast Guard before assistant coach Hawks saw him at a club tournament and thought, why isn't this guy signed? And UOP still gets teased for not taking him, the Northern California native.
If at first you don't succeed, go back to Gooter again. Rejected on the first swing, got fingertips on the second. 6-point lead here for Penn State in game 2, looking to take the commanding lead. Thornton to Smith.
Boy, Max Holt was over. John Spott has every reason to be up off the bench and arguing. You also see the captain, Brian Thornton, the only one allowed to talk to the official with the same complaint. You have to allow the setter room to set the ball. You cannot reach over the net and block an attempted set. And that's exactly what the freshman did on that play.
9 of the last 11 points here for Penn State.
Watch 12 blue right here in the middle. He reaches over, touches the set, and doesn't give UCI the opportunity to set the ball.
Thornton uses that bunt block in the middle. Point UCI. Stefan Rangel on in relief here for Paul Spittle in game 2. Upped up by Walthall. Shooter out of the back. Boy, is he making some big plays tonight.
Great pancake play by the libero. Ryan Walthall keeping that ball in play, and then Guter, with just so much power, gets it through that UCI block.
Guter now serving. Jablonski got it through the block that time for the kill. That is his first of game 2.
Jablonski standing at 6'5". Hard to believe that he was 5'6" as a freshman heading into high school. Then the big growth spurt.
Oh, again! UC Irvine found flat-footed at the net.
And Penn State just igniting this Rec Hall crowd behind the play of the freshman Max Holt.
Free ball for Penn State. Odell. Guter tried to push it over. Nice play at the net by Aaron Harrell. Harrell puts it down, coming up over the net.
And the sophomore is starting to come alive. It's taken him a little while to get adjusted to the pressure of this big game situation, but now Aaron Harrell steadying out, playing with more confidence.
Odell looking for Wenzel. The power to get it through Weber.
Kevin Wenzel earning the start mid-season, saying there are 2 things you can control: your attitude and your effort. And that's exactly what he's done. He helped the Lions to a 10-match win streak. It's just been a consistent factor for them.
Roper long. Service error gets UCI the point. Tenth service error for Penn State. Jablonski skids it off the net. Roper swooping in behind Odell.
Penn State utilizing that back row attack from Proper as an opposite hitter. That's the strength. Go to the back row, right side, and Proper just racking up the kills.
Matt Anderson comes back into the game up front here for Penn State on the Wenzel serve. Thornton looking for Weber. Anderson! What a substitution for the Nittany Lions.
You have to give so much credit to this coaching staff. Mark Pavlik and Dennis Hohenschelt have called a beautiful match so far, using people in the appropriate situation and getting points out of them.
Anderson kept alive by the Anteaters. That's still in play. Odell going back to Anderson with the hot hand.
Way too many free balls.
Another one, Odell. Wenzel had it rejected.
Nice scouting by the Anteaters to stop what they call the BIC. That's the back row quick. UCI runs it to perfection, so they go against it in practice every day, so they really recognize when Penn State runs it as well.
And how about the Irvine substitution? That was Stefan Rangel that tracked the ball down over on the side of the net and kept it alive. Brett Simpson serving. Odell to Guter.
But he got the touch.
Game point for the Nittany Lions.
Boy, and has this crowd been the seventh man or what? Huge for Penn State.
We'll hear him again. Mearstein, 11th service error. Still a bunch of game points left here for the Nittany Lions. Odell, Gooter, game. Two-zip Penn State, and the top seed is in big trouble in Rec Hall. Penn State trying to close in on a berth in the national championship match. They're up 2-zip, and the top-seeded Anteaters of UC Irvine have a big hole to try and dig out of. It's only happened once before in the history of the tournament. A team has come back in the semis from down 2-0 to advance to the final. Let's take a look at the Coke Zero game track.
Well, Penn State just doing everything right. 386 as a team, also 16 blocks behind Matt Proper and his 11 kills. UCI offensively looks good, but just not as consistent as Penn State has been, and hitting just 227 in game 2.
On ESPN2's coverage of the NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship continues Saturday night, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. UCLA awaits the winner of this matchup. And for up-to-the-minute stats, previews, and storylines, visit NCAAsports.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships, where you might find out that this 10-game NCAA tournament losing skid for Penn State began with a loss to UCLA in the 1995 national championship match. And here's what the Anteaters will try and match San Diego State. Chris Marlowe's club back in '72 rallied from 0-2 to beat Santa Barbara to move on to the finals. Only time it's ever happened.
A couple of things UCI needs to do to give themselves a chance. I think the middles must connect a little bit better ball control to get that timing. They also have to cut down on all the free balls that they're giving Penn State, making Penn State look like the best offensive team in the nation.
Thornton looking for Weber. He leads the team in kills in this match. Odell spots Gooter.
I also think that UCI has the mental toughness to come back in this match. I think they started out a little bit rusty. Don't forget, they'd only played in 3 games, just 1 match in the last 12 days. I think it's taken them a couple games to get their rust off.
Alex Gooter now with 12 kills on the night. Odell looking for Proper. He's blocked. Gooter pushes it up and over. The big swing.
And I think the key for Penn State, it's not X's and O's, it's all the intangibles. Can they stay out of their own heads and stay mentally tough enough to not look ahead at what could happen with 1 more win?
Yep.
They just need to play point for point. It sounds so simple, yet so hard to do.
That is the first kill for Spittle, and then Penn State gets the point right back. Heartbreaking enough to lose 10 in a row, but then to be up 2-zip and lose again would just be devastating.
The problem is, in the years past, in those 10 in a row, they've come out and they just haven't played Penn State volleyball. It's not that the other team's been that much better some of the time. It's that they have not come to play. Tonight, it's a different story.
The ace called after Irvine thought it was long and then overruled by the up judge.
If it touches any part of the white line or the blue, the ball is good. Moving at such a high velocity, often hard to see. It looked a little long from here, but we have the benefit of a second look.
Overpass, all Jablonski. All over it. Spittle now to serve.
Spittle getting the start after being yanked in the middle of game 2.
The lone senior really in the rotation. ricochets out. Point Penn State. NCAA Men's Volleyball National Championships. UCLA is into the final. Penn State or UC Irvine will join them for the national championship on Saturday night. Beth Bowens and Heather Cox here at Rec Hall. Penn State, the visitors, but playing on their home court against top-seeded UC Irvine. Enjoying a record-setting season of success, but in trouble, down 2-0 here to the Nittany Lions. Smith setting up Weber, and there's the 3 blockers, turning it back.
And Penn State just feeding off of this home court crowd. A year ago, undefeated in Rec Hall. This year, 11-1 for a combined 26-1 record the last 2 seasons. What a home court advantage.
They are trying to end a decade of frustration. 10 straight losses in the NCAA tournament. Roper with the service error.
Scold that one, huh? So hard on the jump serve. You've got to get just the right top spin on it. Use that wrist.
Odell quickly to Mearstein. Harrell. Now back over to Penn State. Proper. Thornton gets to it. Sets up Jablonski. Cross court. Wenzel. The block missed it wide. And the Anteaters respond in their first ever appearance here in the national semis. Never been this far before. Their head coach has. John Speraw won a couple of titles with the UCLA Bruins in his playing days back in the mid-90s. The ace for Wenzel. That's his 4th of the match.
Coaching staff told me yesterday, Kevin Wenzel, not the best at anything, but without him, we are in trouble. Well, tonight, he's definitely the best server of the bunch.
Tremendous impact of the senior class here tonight for Penn State. The guys that they have called upon all year to do it. Big block from Odell and Mearstein. 2 more of the seniors.
This is a group that could have just crumbled under the pressure that they felt for the last 2 years. I mean, really the last 10 years in the national semis, but the last 2 years, everybody in this program has been pointing towards this moment, and there was so much pressure. This is a group that could have truly crumbled, and understandably, yet they've really overcome that.
Jablonski off the antenna first. Penn State up 8-5. Timeout Irvine. Nittany Lions looking to close it out in the 3rd. They've got the early advantage. Irvine going back if things don't change for them. They're down 2-0 and trailing 8-5 here in the 3rd, and a lot of that thanks to the Pontiac game-changing performance of All-American Matt Proper.
Yeah, the senior is a leaper. 11-11 impact out of the back row, out of the front row, from the left side, from the right side. Already 11 kills, just 1 error, hitting a blistering 526. Doing everything he can to control the outcome of this match.
6'6" senior out of Guys Mills, Pennsylvania. Grew up playing volleyball with his dad. Tremendous success here with the Nittany Lions.
He and Nate Mearstein have made the decision to try and go pro, play professionally overseas upon graduation.
Another block from Odell and Mearstein. They have owned the net. 9 team blocks now, and a 5-0 run for Penn State.
Penn State with their setter front row, so they've got 2 hitters. UCI, Thornton in the back row, 3 hitting options.
Oh, and Wenzel continues to be a handful behind the line.
And that is the advantage of having a front row setter that's 6'7". Dan Odell can not only set the ball, but can be an offensive threat as well.
6 points. Thornton setting up Weber for the tip. Proper back row. Thornton got it. Now Jablonski's turn. Off the block wide.
Jason Jablonski, just so skilled all around. A lot of people say he'll be a tremendous beach player upon graduation. Good beach players, just 2 men, skilled at every position.
Shanked out of bounds on the big Jablonski serve.
Good timeout. Stop it while you can.
Couple unforced errors and a couple quick points for Irvine. Timeout. Penn State. They've already won games 1 and 2. Looking to close out the match on UC Irvine. And ESPN2's coverage of the NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship continues Saturday night at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. UCLA is there against the winner of this Penn State-Irvine matchup. For more up-to-the-minute statistics, previews, and storylines, visit NCAAsports.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. UCLA with the sweep of IPFW in the first semi. Penn State looking for the sweep of top-seeded UC Irvine here in the second. Championship will be live on ESPN2 for you at 7 Eastern. And there's Damian Scott and some of the UCLA players still in attendance. He had our Pontiac game-changing performance in the first semifinal matchup. It's got UCLA rolling and on their way.
Damian Scott with 10 kills, Steve Klosterman with 14. Incredible balance by the Bruins as they seek their 19th national title on Saturday night.
Unbelievable now, 25-0 in the national semifinals. They lost. It's a 4-0 run for the Anteaters after Penn State put up 6 in a row. Thornton tracks it down with a quick hit in the middle for Harrell.
And this is where UCI needs to take advantage. It's starting to get a little bit tight. Starting to think a little bit too much about what could happen.
John Sparrow's team have to tie it after they trailed by 5. And the ace from Jablonski.
And you never count UCI out. This is a team that's never been here, an unexperienced team, but they're also the best team in the nation, and they've come from time and time again this season.
Jablonski. Foot foul called on Jablonski. Point Penn State. Pull check in up front. Weber over the block. Wenzel goes deep with it and gets the kill.
Just a smart play, knowing what his team needed. Didn't need the power, just needed the smart play. Keep the ball in, force the opponent to make the mistake.
The push out wide to Rangel. Now they'll look to Weber. Gets the kill.
Big swing against that 3-person block for Penn State. What a turnaround Matt Weber's had from the poorest match of his career against Long Beach State to one of the best here tonight.
12 kills now for Weber, and we're even at 12. Odell looking for Gooter, and the block off the face of Holt. Ouch.
And Gooter showing he's human. He loves to go for the power shot, but what's changed his game this year is he's learned when to be smart, when they need the shot. That was a perfect time for a roll shot right over the top of the block instead of going for the power.
Irvine now on top. And then the service error from Harrell. Odell back to serve. Thornton to Smith. Finishes it off.
And Smith has been quiet. Started out big in game 1. He is another player that needs to step up. I think a key for UCI is the performance out of the middle. Smith and Harrell need to just light it up here in the rest of this match.
8 kills now for David Smith. Odell looking for Proper. Some more unforced errors here in game 3 for Penn State.
Suddenly, this Rec Hall crowd quiet. UCI doing a good job neutralizing this home court advantage in game 3.
Walthall looking for Proper. And the senior delivers.
Proper has an uncanny knack of hitting the ball through a block. It's like his balls just find a way to go right through the seam.
At the net. Thornton.
We talk about Proper's ability to hit it through the seam of the block. If you freeze it right here, there's 3 people up. But look at the seam right there and right there. Not a whole lot of room, but Proper able to find a way. Field goals it right through the triple block.
And again, Irvine will argue the call at the net that Thornton was over the top. But a point given to Penn State to tie it up. Gooter. Silvacera gives it right back. Midway through game 3.
Looked like a football to me.
Wenzel with the big swing and a kill. Looking to seize the momentum back after Irvine took it away here in game 3. Thornton, Jablonski uses the block.
And that time Thornton able to speed up the offense a little bit. Instead of just floating it high and outside because of bad ball control, Thornton actually able to set a quick go or a hut set to the outside antenna. Actually beats Penn State to the ball.
Odell, long way to track it down. Wenzel. Boy, he's swinging harder now than he was in game 1.
Wenzel and Gooter truly have been the X factors in this match. Everybody knew that Matt Proper would come to play, but it's players, the supporting cast like Kevin Wenzel and Alex Gooter that have been the difference so far.
3 kills in games 1 and 2 combined for Wenzel. He's got 5 here in the 3rd. Weber. His buddy Wenzel right alongside. Nate now with 6 blocks.
And Nate Mearstein all the time in the world this semester to focus on volleyball. The 5th-year senior, actually just 2 classes right now. One of them a very strenuous fly fishing course.
He's the Matt Leinart of men's volleyball.
Dancing, fly fishing.
Error from Irvine.
Got a bust on Nate Mearstein a little bit. Actually just had his fly fishing final. Didn't catch a fish.
Timeout UCI. I hope it wasn't pass-fail based on what you brought home on the boat. Penn State by 2. Looking for a berth in the national championship match. UCLA is already there. And they await the winner of the Anteaters and Nittany Lions. It'll be on ESPN2 Saturday night, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. The Bruins with 18 national championships. Penn State with 1. Irvine with none. It'll be a David and Goliath, regardless of the winner here. Of course, the Bruins would rather not have to deal with the home crowd. As we take a look at the past champions, including a couple that had to be vacated.
And historically, Pepperdine, BYU, Lewis, the last 3 champions have done it in 5 games. So if you're into history, sit down, relax, and settle in for a long ride on Saturday night.
Saw UCLA down at the bottom. This is the longest stretch that they have ever gone without winning a national championship. It's 6 years now. Mearstein tying a career high at the net tonight.
And it's been interesting to watch him all season long. His numbers actually down from a year ago. But he was playing with Keith Kowal a year ago, and Kowal was kind of the go-to guy, and Mearstein put up great numbers by surprise. This year, he's struggling with it a bit because his numbers are down. He doesn't think he's having the impact. But the reason is everybody knows what a great player he is this year, so he's the guy that everybody's trying to stop.
Roper cools off what had been a 6-2 run for Penn State to regain the lead. Trying to close out the match in 3 and not give Irvine any life. Mearstein right at Thornton, who pops it up. Look at Weber. Block. Ricochets out. Matt Weber continues to shine, the junior from Brentwood. Odell. Roper out of the back.
Again, how do you leave him with an empty net? The best player for Penn State going up without a UCI blocker against him. UCI's block has got to keep their eye on number 4 Blue every single rotation. Doesn't matter if he's in the back row, they need to know where he is.
And Odell, the center, just looked over at the Penn State bench and said, all day, baby. And that's been the case. And Mearstein with another block, number 11.
And now a career high for Nate Mearstein. One-on-one, waits, reads it, and reacts. Beautiful timing.
Harold.
Anything you can do, I can do better. You so often see that. Setters will just instinctively go to the same position that they just got beat at and try to one-up them.
UCI back to within 1. The error from Jablonski. And now Penn State and their fans trying not to watch the scoreboard as they try and end the frustration. 9 straight losses in 9 years at the national semis. Trying to break through at home, but Jablonski and company want to stretch this one out a little bit longer.
And that's Jablonski's patented move out of the back row. The back row attack's such a key part of men's volleyball, but now they've added that back row quick, which is a quick attack out of the back row, a timing play.
Simpson serving. Odell over on 2.
That's why we like having a 6'7" setter at the net. Anytime the setter's front row, UCI has to be calling it out, saying 2 hitters, setter's front row, I've got setter. And every time the setter jumps, the blocker has to jump with him.
Thornton looking for Weber. Weber with another kill. Give him 14 now on the night. Keeping UCI close. Odell to Prober. Jablonski there defensively. Angled. Punched across by Smith. Smith with another big play at the net. Got the block and then the kill.
Good heads-up play, staying on his toes, just reacting to the balls tight to the net. Very interesting. You just saw John Sprague come all the way out to the court to get David Smith's attention, look him in the eye to give him instructions. Don't forget David Smith, hearing impaired player for UCI.
Nittany Lions back on top by 1. Here's Smith and Thornton trying to get their teammates pumped up here. Guter helps set the tone with a big performance in game 1.
Now let's see how Alex Guter reacts. He's been so huge this entire match, but those are the type of plays that can get in your head a little bit.
That was not even close from Guter.
Great move by UCI to serve him after that mistake.
Proper continues his big night. Dennis Hohenschel quickly shouting out to Guter, hey, forget about it. Get it out of your head.
I love it. He just yelled, who cares?
Holt, the freshman. Tough serve. Thornton, nice play to keep it alive. Now Odell looking for Guter out of the back into the net.
Boy, and Brian Thornton earning that point for UCI. Incredible one-handed poke to keep that ball in play.
Well, let's see if Irvine goes after Guter some more here.
In the middle of the court.
Smith serves it to him. Tough pass. Long. Irvine by one, timeout, Penn State.
Good move. Mark Pavlik changed the serve-receive pattern so Guter isn't such a target out there in the middle of the court.
Irvine trying to stay alive. They're up one.
Pavlik spending a little extra time with the setter, Dan Odell, talking strategy.
Reminder that we've got some softball action coming your way on Saturday afternoon on ESPN2. Pivotal matchup out of the SEC with LSU and Tennessee. A top 20 showdown between the Lady Tigers and the Lady Vols. College softball on ESPN2 Saturday at noon Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Games to 30, have to win by 2. Penn State winners in games 1 and 2. They can close out the match right here. 1-9 in national semis for Coach Mark Pavlik in his 12th season. Former assistant here, former player here.
And one of the great motivators and one of the great technicians of the game. Doing everything, I think right now, doing everything he can to mentally get this group into a cohesive unit. I'm not sure it's as much about X's and O's right now as it is about mental toughness.
Trying to close out the match.
Before Pav addressed his team, he and his assistant, Dennis Hohenschelt, spent some time one-on-one away from the team. I overheard a little bit of Alex Guter. I think they're really focusing on Guter and his serve receive and whether or not they were going to pull him. Instead, they keep him out. Number 10 Blue comes out and is still in the middle of the court.
Roper with 14 kills to lead the way for Penn State, but Irvine right now with the lead and the serve. Smith goes right back at Guter. Wenzel, long, but Penn State got the touch.
And now Penn State in one of its best scoring rotations, the best server at the end line, and Matt Proper. A front line with Mearstein patrolling at the block, front row setter and Dan Odell, and then Kevin Wenzel as your other hitter.
32 aces on the year coming in tonight. Proper. Thornton tracks it down, looking for Jablonski. Never made it over.
And now you see the cohesive unit that Penn State is following that timeout.
Terrific move from the Nittany Lion bench to stem the tide. And now the Nittany Lions 3 points away from a berth in the final. Roper gives it back. Thornton. Again, right to Guter and Mearstein with the termination.
And now you see the specialized substitutions late in the game. Matt Anderson comes in as a blocking specialist for Guter. Guter will come right back in as an offensive specialist if UCI sides out.
Wenzel serves. Quick hitter in the middle, Harrell again. Nice setup by Thornton.
And actually, Guter remains on the bench. Matt Anderson actually started walking to the sideline for a substitution, but instead stays in. Look for UCI to serve the freshman Anderson.
Game point coming up for somebody right here. How about a match point for Penn State? 9 consecutive losses in the national semifinals. Could come to an end right here. Misses badly. Irvine still alive, and now it's a game to 2. Let's see how Harrell responds. Overpass. Smith blocked by Odell. Put State. Rangel scores, and it's game point Irvine.
Alex Scooter back on the court for the Nittany Lions. See if Harrell can get it over to Gooter.
Odell to Holt. Got it down, and Penn State stays alive.
And Max Holt has been money in this match.
Right at the feet of John Speraw over there on the UCI sideline. And it's back to a game, 1-2. Thornton, quick again to Smith in the middle. That's been effective. Another game point here for Irvine.
Can defense score a point and keep this match going for John Speraw's UCI squad?
Odell, Proper.
And Proper continues with this uncanny knack of hitting it right through that UCI block.
Back to even. Gooter serves. Jablonski to Thornton, looking for Weber. Coming on strong, and Matt Weber pounds it home.
At this point, both teams get so tense that the serves start to get a lot easier. That's why you're seeing so much more offense here late in this game.
Third game point for the Anteaters. Wenzel, block back, and the Anteaters fight off a match point to stay alive, and they win game 3. Wow, the top seed showing its mettle in hostile territory to stay alive.
And now things get interesting, Beth.
Well, the Nittany Lions tighten up a little bit in the 4th as the Anteaters have new life. Penn State in control in games 1 and 2. With the Anteaters on the ropes facing a match point, they fought it off. And the top seed, UC Irvine, comes back to win game 3 to stay alive. And we go to game 4 in Rec Hall, and now the heat gets turned up even higher on the Nittany Lions. Can they hang on and end the 10 years of frustration? Or will the first-timers move on to the final to face UCLA? Penn State taking games 1-2. Irvine comes back for the 3rd. It only happened one other time, back in 1972, that a team lost the first 2 games in the semi and rallied to win the match.
Penn State's block has been absolutely huge so far in this match. Just as we predicted, Penn State the bigger, more physical team, but UCI with that quickness and athleticism going toe-to-toe with 47 kills to Penn State's 54.
Matt Proper for Penn State, Matt Weber for UC Irvine, leading their respective clubs with 15 kills apiece so far.
And how does Penn State react? That is the key to this match. Just a point away from advancing to the national finals and instead having to play at least another game to get there. Do they come out flat or do they come out energized? And does UCI feed off of the momentum that it established in the end of game 3?
Harrell will serve to start things off. 9 kills and 3 blocks for him today. And we started out with a service error and a point for Penn State. Kevin Wenzel will serve it. Dynamite so far on the serve for Penn State. Gooter looks to the cross court. Mearstein at the net with Smith. And Mearstein wins that battle. By the way, Stefan Rangel stays in the starting lineup here for Paul Spittle in Game 4.
Rangel is the one that got the key kill in the end of Game 3 for UCI to take that first lead, really turned the tide for them late.
2-0 Penn State. Weber, right at Wenzel. Gooder keeps it in play. Free ball. Thornton goes right back to Weber. Blocked! Solo by Gooder.
Alex Gooder has been unbelievable. Started off superhuman in Game 1 and hasn't let up in the rest of this match. Huge solo block, also 12 kills to go along with those 2 blocks.
One took the Ukrainian U-turn from Gooder, sending it back. Quick in the middle to Smith on the overpass. David Smith puts it away. David now with a dozen kills.
Lots of international experience for David Smith on that U.S. junior national team a summer ago that finished second to Cuba.
Weber. Tough serve. Thornton right there to put it down. Point Anteaters.
And passing has been the one inconsistency the entire season for Penn State. Hasn't been an issue up until now, but suddenly we're seeing a loss of ball control by the Nittany Lions.
Weber. Odell tried to bring it back over for Mearstein. And Irvine had tied this up at 3.
As Sticky said, they've been letting him play throughout this match, but that was a good whistle call.
Weber with another tough serve. And an opportunity for Irvine. Thornton looks to Rangel off the block. The Anteaters are on top.
Steph Rangel bringing a little senior leadership to this squad. They needed a pick-me-up. Paul Spittle not having the best night. Rangel coming in and just being consistent, bringing just a calm demeanor that the Anteaters needed.
4 kills for him off the bench now in the match. Puts that one into the net. First time ever here for UC Irvine. Not necessarily coming out of nowhere, but pretty darn close this year. They had 9 wins a season ago and turned it around by 18 games and put 27 wins on the board this season.
The biggest turnaround in men's volleyball history, and doing it with essentially the same roster. Just Brent Asuka, the only add-on.
And Asuka was good enough to be first-team All-American, National Newcomer of the Year, the freshman from Hawaii. And a timeout called by Penn State. As Mark Pavlik tries to settle his troops down. All the momentum now wearing the white jerseys of UC Irvine. To Irvine rallying for Game 3, fighting off a match point to stay alive, and now they're on top early here in Game 4. Here's what happened in the opener with UCLA winning.
UCLA just came out on fire with such offensive balance. Steve Klosterman led the way with 14 kills, and then Damian Scott with 10. Dennis Gonzalez set a nearly perfect match and defensively able to hold IPFW to just 187 hitting percentage. CJ Messias tried to do it all for IPFW, but he didn't get much support. And UCLA went on to advance to the national finals, now 25-0 all-time in national semifinal appearances.
And they will face the winner of this matchup for our championship on Saturday evening at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. For more information, log on to ESPN.com, and the Bruins are red hot. That's 13 matches in a row. In mid-March, they were a 500 team and have figured things out and will be going for a 19th national championship on Saturday. Point for Penn State. They're back within 1. How will they respond for missing out on the opportunity to put this one away in Game 3? Another big block. Ricochets off the elbow with Thornton to stay alive.
UCI called for a carry. You cannot lift the ball, which they say David Smith did do. Beth, you talk about a missed golden opportunity for Penn State. UCI in that third game hit just 189 as a team and comes off with the win. That's just heartbreaking for Penn State players.
Anderson is back in the lineup now up front for Penn State. Point for Irvine. 7-6, Anteaters on top.
See if the ball control breaks down. Penn State's got to stay confident on its serve receive.
Wallfall's pass to Odell, not a good one.
And this is a Penn State team that is getting tight, not absorbing the passes. To me, defense and ball control, mental, entirely mental. You have to believe that you're the best passer on the floor.
Irvine up by 2. Smith. Now Odell looking for Proper. Good get by Rangel. Jablonski had to readjust his footwork. Proper through the block again, finds the seam.
Matt Proper has just been such a picture of consistency throughout this entire match. Hitting over the block, through the block, that time just powering through the hands of the UCI block.
Anderson will serve. Thornton looking for Jablonski. Tremendous elevation in the put down.
And beautiful timing off of the pass. That was a very quick outside set, and that's what you do. When you're smaller than Penn State, you've got to be quicker. So they set the inside ball. That's called a 32 set. Perfectly executed.
Proper off the block wide. Point Penn State. 17 kills now for Matt Proper to lead everybody in the match. Holt puts it into the net.
And look at how dejected he is, not giving out any positive energy. This Penn State squad is entirely different personality-wise in this fourth game than they were in the first 3.
20 service errors now in the match. And then Jablonski gives it right back. That's 18 service errors for UC Irvine.
And what a great job UCI has done neutralizing Mark Pavlik's home court advantage. This Rec Hall crowd sitting down, being very quiet here late in this match.
Oh, Mearstein with the rejection of Harold. Nate Mearstein has the pink slip at the net right now.
A career night in blocking. Waits, sees the set, and then reacts. When you're as tall as Mearstein is, you can get away with that. You don't have to commit block, you can read block.
Thornton, back set, Weber, off the block. Irvine on top. Must win game 4 to force a 5th game, which would be rally scoring to 15. Harold. Odell looking for Proper. Point Penn State. Tied at 11. Looking for Rangel, block. Asuka with an athletic play to get a piece of it. Wallfall to Proper out of the back row. Trouble at the net. Punched over by Smith. Now Odell looking for Proper again. Got it.
Defense that they can score a point.
Thornton. He does put it in play. Wenzel. Big block from Harold. 2 in a row for the Anteaters to tie it up. Harold's having a terrific match tonight.
Jump float, ball control at a premium here.
Odell back set, Proper. Dug up by Thornton. Jablonski with the set to Rangel out of the bag. Odell looking back to his man Proper. Net violation called on UCI. Point Penn State. Point our first look all night at Luke Murray, the sophomore.
Talk about pressure. More than 2.5 hours standing on the sideline. Your shoulder is cold. Everything's cold.
Puts it in play. Weber. Peter finds Odell. Wenzel gets the point. Teams will switch sides with Penn State on top 8-6.
Back when I was playing, you always had the momentum, the confidence. If you're superstitious, you're going to win if you're the first to get to 8. That is the key in these players' minds.
How about Luke Murray under pressure? Just putting it in play. Won 4 state titles in high school. The kid's a winner. Quick set in the middle. Harrell with another kill for UCI. Give him 12 now on the night. Anteaters back to within 1. Jablonski now will serve.
Such a fine line in Game 5 between trying to serve the ace and trying not to give them a lollipop serve that gives the opponent instant offense.
48 service errors for the two clubs tonight. Proper with a big swing. Weber, dug by Proper. Chance for Penn State. Wenzel. Tipped over by Harrell. Another big play by Aaron. Anteaters back to within 1. Simpson to serve. Odell Mearstein got it down. To 15, must win by 2 here in the 5th. Wenzel, who has 5 aces on the night. Thornton sets up Weber off the block.
What a huge turnaround Matt Weber has had from the loss against Long Beach, where he had his career worst performance, to tonight when he has just been the go-to.
20 kills now for Weber. Irvine looking to tie it up. Odell sets up Mearstein in the middle. Three substitutions coming on for Penn State. Excuse me, 2.
And this senior laden squad is just not giving up. Nate Mearstein leading the charge in the middle, a career high already in blocks, carrying it offensively as well.
Back up by 2. Thornton looking for Rangel. And he gets the kill. Buda returns.
Now both teams in a 2-hitter situation, meaning both setters are in the front row, makes it easier to defend.
Rangel with the service error. Penn State 3 points from the match. Odell. Popped up by Penn State. Free ball here. Anteaters. Thornton looks to the middle. Smith with the kill. David Smith back to within 1. Penn State trying to end a streak of 10 consecutive NCAA tournament losses. The Anteaters have never been this far, looking to keep their dream season alive for a spot in the final against UCLA. And the lift called on Guter.
And he has got to take that underhand with his forearms. A great serve from David Smith.
It is all tied up.
And he will go right back to Alex Scooter and give him a little bit of time to think about that error during the timeout.
ESPN2's coverage of the NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship continues Saturday night at 7 Eastern as UCLA meets the winner of Penn State or UC Irvine for the national championship. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. And Irvine will come out of the timeout looking for its first lead of the game.
7 times in this 5th and decisive game, Penn State has led by 2, and UCI has fought back. UCI hitting .429 in this decisive game. Penn State hitting .455.
Anteaters ready to take the court. The top overall seed, they were down 0-2, fought off a match point in game 3, and came back to win game 4 and force a 5th and deciding game here to determine the outcome of this national semifinal.
Hard to believe that after almost 3 hours of intense, high-level volleyball, it's become a game to 3.
First to 15, gotta win by 2.
Penn State was first strike opportunity on serve receive, first chance at offense.
They won't need it as Smith with a service error gives Penn State the lead.
And now the X factor, Beth. You never know what you're gonna get. Last time Alex Scooter went to the line, he hit the standard.
Puts this one in play. Thornton sets up the middle and the kill.
And that's that fine line. If you keep the serve in and give them a lollipop, they can run a quick offense, but you don't want to go for it and give them the quick point with the service error.
Thornton serving. Odell looking for Proper. Wrangled. Jablonski clears it out of the bench. Chance for Penn State. Odell to Holt. Got it down. Match point, Nittany Lions. Timeout, UC Irvine. They had one back in game 3, and the Anteaters fought it off.
The freshman has been huge time and time again, this time up against 2 UCI blockers. Max Holt swinging like a veteran. And amazingly, the court lights have just gone out in the building. Wow, if they don't get these back on in a hurry, this could be a major momentum kill.
All the lights above the court have gone off. Well, there you see they are still on around the exterior of the point for Penn State here in game 5, and now both coaches are over to talk about it, as well as the NCAA staff here at Rec Hall.
They are letting the 2 game coaches decide whether or not they want to continue in these conditions or wait for the lights to turn on.
Grab the ball, pepper. Grab the ball and pepper up.
A stop in the action here with the lights going out directly over the court. The two coaches got together. And the coaches apparently have decided they will wait until the lights can come back on. Heather, I was the resident expert on the IPFW Mastodons. I think I'll let you handle the high-octane, high-energy light bulbs here.
What we've just been told is the coaches as a group have decided to wait until the lights come back on. I've been told the reason they're out is they actually, like the rest of us, have overheated. And it will take up to 10 minutes for them to get back on once they cool off and then sort of reignite.
So the players take to the floor to try and stay loose, and the agonizing wait continues for the Penn State fans who thought it was going to be over in 3 games. And now it looks like at match point the wait will be a little bit longer as to whether or not the Nittany Lions can close it out. We are in Game 5 at Rec Hall of the National Semis. The lights are out, and we'll take a break as they try and get them back on. NCAA National Semifinals at Rec Hall here in University Park, Pennsylvania. We are in Game 5 if you're just joining us, and we are at match point for Penn State. The Nittany Lions took games 1 and 2. Irvine coming back to take games 3 and 4. And then at the 11 o'clock hour here on the East Coast, the lights went out over the court. And Beth Bowens, along with Heather Cox and Chris Schneider from the NCAA, is now joining us courtside to try and help us decipher what exactly is going on. And just an incredible moment here at Rec Hall.
Yeah, just like as everybody was watching match point, all of a sudden the lights went out at the top of the building. And I looked around to some of the staff, and they all got this look on their face, the automatic timers. Actually set for 11 o'clock, and at that point the lights went down. So they immediately went back to the control, and they actually powered them down. They're right back up now. It takes about 10 minutes for these lights to cool down before they can completely power back up. So as soon as they come back up, we'll be ready to get back to play.
Chris, is there a ruling in the NCAA championship book for situations like this, or on the fly did you and the coaches decide whether or not you would play under these conditions?
Well, the officials actually met with the coaches. They explained to them that the power will come back up on the lighting, and then they agreed that we'll go ahead and take the time. We'll let them come back up, let the venue get back to where it was earlier, and then the teams can be warming up, and then as soon as they come back on, we'll continue to play.
And as we take a look above now, we're starting to see them coming back on one at a time.
Yep.
And then we just resume. We pick up right where we left off. It'll be match point for the Nittany Lions.
That's right.
And during this break, I did have a chance to talk to Dennis Hohenscheld about what they need to do. I mean, this long break, it's quite simple. We need to get the serve in. It's just hard to believe what a momentum kill for both of these teams at this crucial juncture.
Absolutely. Very unfortunate that it had to happen at all, especially at this point in the match.
Well, Chris Schneider with the NCAA, thank you so much for stopping by here and
no
helping us work through the lights going out here at Rec Hall on what has otherwise been a terrific night for volleyball, with UCLA winning our first semifinal 3-0, and then a classic matchup here in our second semifinal with the Nittany Lions and the Anteaters. We'll take a timeout as the lights heat up and illuminate the floor here at Rec Hall. Back for the finish after this.
That is ESPN. This is mobile ESPN. This isn't like sports on your current phone, okay? This is a whole new phone service from ESPN with unique features like the fastest alerts and the sideline and real-time play-by-play on Gamecast. It's like getting into ESPN.
Asshog XP. Go online for a retailer near you.
When I think of playing at Rec Hall, I think of the fans.
The loyal fans.
Когда я думаю про Рек-Холл, я думаю про всех своих фанатов с Украины, с России, которые приходят и кричат за меня каждую игру.
I think of all the great fans that we have that cheer us on every night.
I think of all the crazy Russian, Ukrainian fans that come in and cheer for me.
Think of the tradition.
The passion.
I think of how great it would be to win a national championship on our home floor in front of our home fans.
NCAA Championships National Semifinals We just wanted to establish a little more drama for you here at match point, so we figured we'd wait a while the lights came back on and let things sink in a little bit, and now we're ready to go. After a 10-minute break, after the lights went off over the court, they are back on, and the teams are back on. Penn State serving for the match. A senior-laden team will put it in the hands of their freshman, Max Holt from Cincinnati, to serve it up and end a streak of 10 consecutive losses in the NCAA tournament. Irvine looking for their first ever trip to the national championship game. Nobody happier than the UCLA Bruins that this thing has lasted over 3 hours now.
And
as
talk
they
about
await the winner in the final.
Icing the shooter, a freshman at the end line with 10 minutes to think about the biggest serve of his life.
Holt gets it in, and it's an ace, and Penn State wins it. Frustration over for the Nittany Lions. They are back in the national championship game for the first time since 1995 on the ace from the freshman after the 10-minute delay. He shoots a rocket across the net to beat the top-seeded UC Irvine Anteaters. And Saturday night's final will be Penn State and UCLA. And Holt with the crushing blow. Mark Pavlik, a fitting way in his mind for this streak to come to a close. Won the championship in '94, played for it again in '95, and have not been back since. Well, they're going back on Saturday behind the play of their senior Matt Proper leading the way, along with his classmates Dan Odell, Kevin Wenzel, and Nate Mearstein, and Heather is standing by with Mark Pavlik.
Coach, after 9 unsuccessful tries, could you have created any more drama to make it to the finals tonight?
I didn't create it. We just lived through it, though. Great effort by UCI. I think our Nittany Lions stood up to the test. Anytime you can take some shots in the mouth from a John Speraw coach team, you know you're doing some things right. Really proud of our guys. Really proud of this game. I think we gave it some, to the volleyball fans out there, this was something to behold.
Absolutely. Now, Pav, can you describe the type of feeling you feel right now as that pressure is lifted off your shoulders after a decade of trying?
Oh, yeah, we're lifted off the shoulders to get skates in the Bruins. Yeah, that's pressure. You know, these seniors have been just wonderful all year long. We're going to stick with them, and they paid off. You know, you enjoy this for what it's worth. You get to work on Friday. You get to work on Saturday. We got a huge task ahead of us, Heather.
All right, well, you talk about that reward, and you do face UCLA. What will it take to get the second national title for Penn State?
We got to play error-free volleyball because they are going to be ready to go. I told Al Skates we should name the months February, March, April, skates, May, and June. So we're going to be facing him, and he's going to have the Bruins ready. We've got to be ready to compete hard.
All right, Penn State hoping to name a month after themselves on Saturday. Back to you, Beth.
Thank you very much, Heather. What a finish after winning games 1 and 2. The Anteaters come back to take games 3 and 4, and then Penn State 15-13 in game 5 to advance. So Saturday night on ESPN2 at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, it's the UCLA Bruins and the Penn State Nittany Lions for the national championship. Coming up next, it's the Franklin American Mortgage Championship. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Heather Cox and our entire crew, I'm Beth Mowens. Hope you've enjoyed the action. Matt Proper with 22 kills to lead the way. Nate Mearstein, 13 blocks, and the Nittany Lions hit .351, and they win it on the freshman Max Holt with the service ace to close it out. I'm Beth Moen. So long from State College, PA. We'll see you back here.